What's up, everybody? Welcome to another show. Jammin with J Money. It's Friday. We got Jordan back today, man. We ready to get to some money. We're gonna recap yesterday's game and we're gonna go over today's game, man. Just one game a day, so y'all know how it is. That's my guy Jordan Sharp, and that's my guy Junior Browne. Make sure y'all go to SBR Picks /NBA to check out all the articles that we have over there. All three of us have articles over there in NBA, and they have Junior and Jordan have articles in NFL as well, I believe. So whatever sport you like to bet on, man. Got plenty of articles over there. What's up, Jordan? Everything good with you, bro? How was your day yesterday?
Didn't hit any plays yesterday. Missed on the Celtics full game. I'm sure we will delve deep into that one. Had them at 2.5 yesterday. I should have jumped on the first half. I went back and watched some of the show yesterday as much as I could, and I should have did that as well to kind of split up my losses a little bit on that one. I also pushed my W play last night in the playoffs, so didn't win one, but didn't lose both my plays. So at least that was good. I got my money back on one of them. But yeah. I cannot believe the Celtics collapsed yesterday, y'all. I mean, did they just forget how to run their offense in the second half entirely? I have no idea. I mean, the defense obviously coming out of the third quarter was one of the main issues, but I'm still speechless kind of from that collapse yesterday. It was their time to take back the advantage in that series and get it tied 1-1, and to lose like that, man. I know we weren't too high on Boston. I think we were picking them to win this series, but we knew it would kind of be a struggle, but did not expect this going into them to be down 0-2.
Exactly. Junior, them boys, I mean, the Heat, they showed, I mean, that third quarter there, 37-17, that was the game right there. Obviously, the Celtics had got up by, 13-15 at the end of, in the first half. So, I mean, it was obviously looking good for him. I ended up cashing the first quarter and first half. Still would have been really nice to cash that full game, man. I actually had more on the full game there, but wasn't a max bet or anything, but I did like the Celtics to win that game. Like I always tell you guys, nothing is guaranteed. I mean, the Heat, they end up coming back. I mean, if you was watching the game or if you can make live bets or, you know what I'm saying, could have hopped on the Heat second half there, but Junior, even the Celtics, when they got down 8, they still came back to go up by 3 points. I mean, I just don't see why people are acting like the Heat are light years better than them. I mean, they pissed away another game. It's down 0-2. I mean, we've seen before that it didn't matter. It didn't mean that the series is necessarily over, in my opinion. But I mean, you have to give congratulations to the Heat. They came back and stole the game pretty much twice in a row now. So you know what I'm saying? The Heat up 2-0 in the series, Junior.
Yeah, we've had this conversation many times before. It's just recency bias, right? You're biased to the things that your eyes just finished seeing. It annoys me, to be honest, how people jump on and off these bandwagons. So what? The Celtics lose 2 games now, and they're just all of a sudden trash. I thought people were saying a week ago that the Celtics looked unbeatable.
We're gonna win the championship.
Make up your damn minds, bro. Like, people have off nights. You also have to take into account that Eric Spoelstra has made coaching adjustments. We should assume that Brad Stevens is going to do the same. Enes Kanter has been nowhere to be found, and yesterday he got minutes. Adjustments are being made. Adjustments will continue to be made. And to be honest with you, even though I've backed the Heat, yesterday I had the under 209.5, which ended up cashing for me. But it was good. My play was going to be the Heat if I had to pick a side. Now I'm leaning towards the Celtics. I feel like the Celtics' backs are against the wall. I don't think that there's any way that they go down in the 3-0 hole. I just think that people should stop overreacting to every single game and just look at each game as their own individual entity and just try to take what you saw in the last games and learn and try to assume what adjustments are going to be made. But to say that the Celtics are dead because they lost 2 basketball games, it's a bit idiotic in my opinion. I mean, we said that the Nuggets were dead, or I did at least. I'm not gonna hold that over you guys. Mm-hmm. But when the Nuggets lost game 1, I was like, oh, they done in 5. But then as the series went on, I didn't really bet on the Clippers because I was kind of like, I don't know about these Clippers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta go one day at a time and just slow it down. Pump your brakes. If you think the Celtics are dead, you're not really paying attention, man.
Exactly. I mean, it's a whole different. Now, I can't tell you. I mean, obviously, them boys fighting and stuff. after. I mean, they were just fighting. It was probably a little confrontation between Smart and Browne after the game there in the locker room. So be interesting to see. I mean, they could obviously it's not necessarily a good look for them. You know what I'm saying? But obviously with them already going down 0-2, and then you fighting. So it's a couple of ways, different ways you can look at it. They could take that fight into Game 3, obviously with their backs against the wall. Obviously they're going to have Hayward come back here pretty soon. I still think that the game could have went either way. It's not like now. I mean, these games are interesting to me because I always have a scenario before the game happens. Like I mean, and if you listen closely to the show, I pretty much tell you how I'm thinking of it. You know what I'm saying? I always tell you, hey, they could go down 0-2. It could really happen. They could go down 0-2. Then they could get Hayward. I could see the narrative come back. Oh, Hayward comes back, save the day. Then they win the next two. Boom, whole new series. If they come back, Celtics win the next two here. Nothing's guaranteed, but it's a whole new series. I know the Heat are 10-1 against the spread, and straight up here in the playoffs, but you've seen them get down by 15 to the Celtics even in that game. So I mean, it's just one of those things where the Celtics kind of started, they really start getting complacent, start feeling themselves, and then that's when the Heat they see blood, they smell blood, and then that's what, and you see a third quarter like that, and I see them chipping away. It's like, man, it's tough, man, because you see the meltdown once again. So you see them do it. It's just they have to sustain it over the whole game. It's like, you know what I'm saying, when they come out in the third quarter, you got to win the third quarter, and then you got to continue to do it in the fourth quarter as well. So be interesting. But what you gonna say, Junior?
No, because basically, Marcus Smart is the one that was fighting with whoever, right? Because you see the report saying that he was like, y'all on some bullshit. Right. It's kind of a fine line with Marcus Smart, and here's what I mean by that. He's a defensive warrior. And like when I say defensive warrior, they put Marcus Smart on centers. It's like, I don't know if you guys remember when they played Dallas in the regular season, Marcus Smart was guarding Kristaps Porzingis. Marcus Smart guards 1 through 5 on any given night, and he leaves his heart out there on the court. I know I say he flops a lot and all that, but aside from that, he's one of the hardest working players in the league. But let's just be honest. His shot selection is ass cheeks, dog. His shot selection is fucking garbage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's really, really garbage. Like, for an undersized guard, because he's basically the size of a point guard, he has no point guard instincts whatsoever. And just look at the body language, because it happened in Game 1. There was a shot in Game 1 where Marcus Smart basically didn't even look at nobody else. He kind of just went one-on-one. I think he had Bam guarding him, and he took a shot. Bro, Jaylen Browne basically rolled his eyes and walked back to the end of the court while the ball was still in the air. And I was like, oh, Jaylen Browne don't look too happy with these Marcus Smart shots. And I think that was a carryover from Game 1. He took some real dumb shots yesterday. I know. Here's the thing. If you're a Boston fan, if you see Marcus Smart get hot early, you should actually be worried because he's going to start taking shots that he probably should not be taking late. And I say that because he should be clearly fourth on the shot chart behind Kemba, behind Browne, behind Tatum. And I think that because he puts in so much effort on defense, he feels like he has the right to take more shots, and that's not necessarily smart basketball. This is all just my opinion, but this is an observation I've been making about Marcus Smart for like 2 years. He takes really, really dumb shots, like he just does.
Got you. Jordan, anything else you got to say about this one before we get to the game today?
One thing on Marcus Smart really quick. He's, and I'm sure Junior, you and Jay, you guys have either both played or coached against or with these kind of players. It's like when they get hot for a couple game stretch, they turn from fourth string on the depth chart to Steph Curry in their mind real quick, and that is Marcus Smart to a T. And also, I mean, we talked about this I think before the series, but we kind of expected this to be kind of a grinded out, kind of real close series. Like most of these games should finish within pretty within 1 or 2 possessions. And these stretches where like these teams kind of just lose their minds real quickly, like the Celtics did kind of 3 minutes into the third quarter yesterday. They had 20 turnovers in the game yesterday. And I think they had like a stretch where in the third quarter where they turned the ball over like four in a row or 4 out of 5 there in that stretch. And that was right when the Heat started that run and took control. And I mean, it's just these little mistakes, these little lapses 2 or 3 straight times down the court are going to be the difference in these games. The team that's mentally tougher and the team that's not having these chemistry issues is going to be the one that wins. So, I mean, now that, these kind of yelling matches at the end of this game came to light, it's not surprising to see the Heat up 2-0. I'm just not quite buying into the narrative like Jay was saying earlier, like the Celtics are dead now. Like, that's definitely not the case. They're going to adjust for this. But it is interesting to see, like, just that small little thing, like one little, Marcus Smart taking a couple bad shots and having a couple turnovers there combined with all that can really frustrate a team coming out of halftime, and then the whole quarter was shot at that point.
Exactly. Yeah, he's saying everybody else bullshit. And I know he always keep it there on bullshit. I mean, he always keep it there on defense, but you know what I'm saying? Sometimes on offense, maybe it's a little bit on you. So I mean, sometimes you got to look in the mirror. Be interesting to see if they take that fight into game 3, or if they're, you know what I'm saying, they are not, you know what I'm saying, on the same page right now. And if they go down 0-3, then yeah, it is going to be pretty damn tough, man, Hayward or not, man. So be interesting to see what happened. We definitely going to talk about that game 3 tomorrow. Going to be interesting when they got the Celtics at 3. They got them at 3 tomorrow. I believe they opened at 2.5 and got hit up to 3 there. So be interesting to see, man. I know that Heat plus 3. I mean, shoot, bro, I'm still looking at it, but I'm not definitely going to run to the Heat plus 3. But I know a lot of people are, and you ain't gonna be able to tell them nothing. I mean, that's just their opinion, though. So everybody has their opinion. It is what it is. Let's get to today's games, man. We got the Nuggets versus the Lakers, man. Lakers open up at 6.5 favorites, guys. Now up to 7 here. I saw it go back down to 6.5 as well. Back up to 7 though. Over and under, Jordan opened up at 212. Went down to 211 yesterday. Was down to 210. Back up to 210.5 at some spots here. We got the first quarter. Lakers favored by 3. First half favored by 4.5. Full game by 7 here. Be interesting to see if the Lakers, what happens here, Jordan. I mean, they done lost the past couple of game ones here. Does that give them more motivation to, you know what I'm saying, come out here and take care of business here? Do they have extra motivation after what Clippers do? Or are they overlooking the Nuggets? Do they think it's going to be easy? Well, I mean, obviously they weren't expecting. Well, nobody was expecting the Nuggets to be in this series with the Lakers. We have to give them credit. What you think about this one, my guy?
Yeah, the Nuggets coming off 2 straight Game 7s, I think, is a variable that we really did not expect. I think the books included going into this series. So that being said, the fact that you're right, that the Lakers have lost both the Game 1s. They're 1-6 against the spread this year when coming off 4+ days rest, playoffs and regular season included. Theoretically, I don't blame anyone for betting on the Nuggets. And if I had a free play on this game, I would absolutely bet the Nuggets. But I think that we were talking about this before the show. I think the consensus going to be from us is, if you like the Nuggets and you think the Lakers are going to come out slow, just bet them early and don't worry about the full game spread, because I understand the Lakers have looked sluggish at times on offense, especially in Game 1s of these series. But this is the Western Conference Finals, and this is LeBron James we're talking about. And I think at this stage of his career, I think LeBron kind of looks at this as saying, if we thought the Clippers were getting dogged, we're the Los Angeles Lakers, or we're held to a standard 10 times that high. If we lose another Game 1 in this Western Conference Finals to a team that's coming off 14 playoff games compared to us who are on far superior rest, I just don't think the Lakers are going to come out lackadaisical here, and that's kind of what's keeping me from betting the Nuggets here. But yeah, theoretically, all signs point to the Nuggets here. The total doesn't surprise me, but these two teams have not been great at times defensively. The Lakers coming off rest, and then the Nuggets, obviously, we've seen their defense has come and gone at times. So the total, and another one I think I'm just watching here and probably not going to be betting. But if I had a free play, I think I might take the points here, at least with the Nuggets early, perhaps in that first half maybe, to assume the Lakers come out at halftime and kind of lock in then maybe. But I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about that, because I'm scared off of the 7, to be honest. I want to bet it, though, but I just can't.
Don't be scared, man. Don't be scared. But this is a tough.
I can't take the spicy Nuggets tonight.
I know what you mean. This is a tough game, though. I do think that the 7 is a little rich, though. I do think it's a little rich for the Lakers here. Be like I say, the whole thing is, do they come out and see, obviously with them, with the Nuggets beating the Clippers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, the Lakers could take it. Hey, we're gonna show that we're bigger and better. They can show that, but they just hadn't seemed to be. Even their own fans know that they're not good with, you know what I'm saying, when they come off that many days of rest. Once they get it going, get into the offense, it seemed like it takes them a little while to get into an offensive groove, to figure out a team. They did play twice already. It was a little bit in different circumstances. I know the Nuggets went to their house one time, the Lakers, and then I think they lost that game by 3. So, I mean, they showed that they could actually kind of match up well with them. You look at the bench. The bench can match up well with the Lakers. Like I say, it's just gonna be interesting if they take advantage of the Nuggets technically in a letdown game. Not necessarily, because if you see the way they was celebrating their Junior, it could be one of those things where they keep the momentum going, or it could be a huge letdown for them and they get smacked by 20. First game versus the Clippers, which I do feel like the Clippers had more offensive firepower than the Lakers do. They did get smacked by, I think it was 120-97. So do we see that game one, or are we gonna see game one like we did versus the Rockets, where the team comes out and surprises them? Pretty much the exact same spread as well.
Yeah, I'm tempted to make the same bet that I made in that situation, which was Denver plus the points in the first quarter. I think that I don't want to say there's no way, because there's no such thing as a guaranteed. I can't see the Lakers losing 3 straight game ones in the playoffs. That for all the reasons that Jordan just said, if the Lakers didn't have motivation before, once they saw the second best team, or what we thought was the second best team in the playoffs, get knocked out, now LeBron has to be like, okay, now I can see this ring now. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think that we're going to get the best version of LeBron today, in my honest opinion. I'm a little bit hesitant to go ahead.
One thing, and that's what kind of scares me, is that do the Lakers think it's going to be too easy now? We've seen them get another team get complacent, get leads, and lose it. And what do the Nuggets do? They come back. I mean, they get down 20 and they don't stop. They keep going. You know what I'm saying? You got players out there that's gonna be in LeBron face. They got a Torrey Craig, a Gary Harris, players that I ain't gonna say it can stop them, but they're gonna be a pest. They're gonna be a pest. He getting up there in age. That's the only thing. That's the one thing that will scare me away from the Lakers, Junior.
I gotta say something, and I actually want your opinion and Jordan's opinion. The way that Jeremy Grant defended Kawhi, he might give. I'm not gonna say he can't stop LeBron. He can't. That's very obvious.
And that boy,
but in the half court though, LeBron's gonna have to work to score against Jeremy Grant in the half court, because Jeremy Grant is actually as tall as LeBron. He got them long arms. He got quick feet for a taller guy. And his effort is on 100 every single play. That dude is an effort dude that taught him. Like, if you remember Jeremy Grant, I only used to pay attention to him because he's Horace Grant's nephew. So I always just like kind of paid attention to him. He couldn't shoot when he first came to the NBA. Now he's worked himself from being bad to average. So he's like a lower end 3-and-D guy, but the defense is there. And I just think that what he did against Kawhi, I'm not saying he can stop LeBron, so please, whoever's in the comments about to be like, oh, Jeremy Grant can't stop LeBron.
They're already typing him.
No, yeah, I know.
I think,
like, guys, I didn't start watching basketball yesterday. Nobody can stop LeBron. I get that. But if you could make LeBron work, just like he made Kawhi work, you could slow them down. And if you slow LeBron down, the Lakers have a problem. Because if there's one thing that the one disadvantage that the Lakers clearly have in this series is their bench versus Denver's bench. Denver's bench is much better than the Lakers bench. So if you can slow down LeBron or AD, you've already given yourself a much better chance than most teams, because nobody can usually stop these guys. And I'm very interested to see how Jokic is affected by Anthony Davis's defense.
Yeah. Now, Jordan, I want to ask you this. You make good points there, Junior. Damn good points. Jordan, I want to ask you this. I think they got to put Grant on Davis. Defensively, you have to put Grant. That's the only player, because you can't put Jokic on AD. You can't put no damn Paul Millsap on him. I mean, they might try to put Millsap on a little bit, but Paul Millsap, because really, in my opinion, I want to see Paul Millsap come off the bench. Like, looking at the matchups, Millsap did have one game. I mean, he played one of the games. He started one of the games versus him in the regular season, but that was then. This is now. I want to see Millsap come off the bench and Torrey Craig come in there in the starting lineup, move Grant to the 4, have Jokic versus McGee, Grant versus Davis, and you know what I'm saying, you can have Torrey Craig or Gary Harris switch out on LeBron James, because Caldwell Pope, you could just put Murray on him. Danny Green, you just, it don't really, I ain't gonna say it doesn't matter, but we ain't nobody really worried about them. You stop LeBron and AD, you make the rest of the team beat you. That's what you do. And we're going to see this game one, you know what I'm saying? But I think the Nuggets going to be able to keep it close with them here. I think the 7 a little too rich, but like I say, it'll be interesting. I could see the Lakers come and smack them up, but we've seen it always take them one game, right, to kind of get a feel of the team. It's what been happening.
Somebody in the comments just said AD can't guard Jokic. Why? Well, why would AD not? Nobody said he could stop him. But why? If AD can't guard Jokic, then you're basically saying nobody could guard Jokic because AD is one of the best defenders at his position. Now, if you're saying Jokic can't guard AD, that makes sense because Jokic doesn't have the foot speed to keep up with AD on the perimeter. But I don't see a reason why AD can't guard Jokic.
Man, this is a real intriguing matchup because Junior, you know basketball, you're a coach. Jokic gonna be at the top of the key, right? If AD is guarding Jokic, AD ain't by the rim, right? So I mean, that's a whole nother dynamic right there. So I mean, it's if you're the Lakers, do you want AD on Jokic? Because Jokic ain't really in the post like that.
Listen, Mike Malone has shown that he's obviously a very good coach in the sense that the Clippers Doc Rivers made some adjustments. He tried to put, Kawhi on Jokic so that when they switch on the pick and roll, they still got a quick guy to cover Jamal Murray. Jokic is a smart dude. He just started posting to Paul George. I think that if AD comes out to guard Jokic on the perimeter, Jokic is going to be throwing dimes. The Denver Nuggets have to be the best team in the league at making back cuts to the basket. You understand what I'm saying? How many times do we see Jokic hit somebody for a layup on a backdoor cut? Like,
hey, he threw one backwards. He threw one on backwards. Bro, tripped me out on that one. I know they was up already by 15, but he tripped out on that one, bro. He just threw it back. That was nice right there. I did. It's gonna be an interesting matchup, man. I don't think so. Put it like this. I know I was looking at it just real quick. Me saying, I know that I was looking at. I was like, okay, yeah, the Lakers got a cakewalk now. But I mean, when you really dig into the matchups, they could kind of be some pests. I mean, like I say, they could get swept here. But when you look at the point spread, they could easily sneak inside that point spread and still lose the game. Like, it'd be a close game. You know what I'm saying? 104, 101. I could see it. So that's 7 here for the first game, especially seeing how the Lakers have performed in the previous game ones. I know that they could turn the switch and decide to blow them out here on this game one or the Nuggets. I would view that it would be as the Nuggets letdown, but I'm kind of one that feels that the Nuggets going to keep that momentum here going. And, you know what I'm saying, nobody thought they still the underdog here. They're getting 7 points. Even if they don't win, because it's another one where this underdog, guys, they got to win one of these first 2 games. They want to have any chance. Like, if they want to win this, because this is one where, like I always tell guys, Jordan, when you bet in the favorite, a lot of people that don't know how to bet, they always ask me, hey, you know what I'm saying? How do you bet? So I'm telling them, hey, this team has to win by 7. So that means they can win, but they want to win, but they don't have to win by 8 points. You see what I'm saying? But when you're looking at the underdog, the Nuggets, they going out there trying to win. We getting 7 points. You see what I'm saying? So it's 2 ways of looking at it, man. I like the Nuggets here. Plus, I'm putting something on the Nuggets here. I ain't going to get spicy Nuggets. I might have to get a little 4-piece just for old times.
Just a little bit.
A little 4-piece with a little sweet and sour or something, But I like them plus the 7, man. If I lose, I lose. It is what it is.
Man, stop making me hungry. You mean if you look at the last 3 games the Nuggets have played the Lakers, they played them extremely close. I think that's that kind of the story of this series, right? Because it's a almost opposite of what the Lakers just faced, because the Lakers were better off kind of going bully ball at times in the last series. Now, if they do that, the Nuggets, which we've seen, the Nuggets are pretty well adept to stopping that because of the big guys they have, especially starting with Jokic pulling away one of their best defenders, whoever it is, away from the basket. So, and to answer the question earlier, I think Torrey Craig does guard LeBron as much as possible here. I think Gary Harris is a little too small. He will get turns on him, I think. But Craig is going to be the main guy. I think if he doesn't get in foul trouble. Because I think that we touched on this already. I think Grant does guard AD as much as possible. I think those 2 guys, just because they can live offensively without those guys, but they can't. They need them defensively on those 2 matchups. But to answer your question, I mean, that's the way I'm leaning right now, the Nuggets. But it's just hard for me to bet against playoff LeBron here. So I do end up pulling the trigger. It's either going to be first quarter or first half for me. I think the 7 is. It is rich, but it just scares me a little bit here with the Nuggets coming off such an emotional series, 2 emotional series.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it was pretty emotional there, Junior. Junior, so I look at the damn refs, and this is one that, you know what I'm saying, I expected Scott Foster to be in the game yesterday. Scott Foster and Tony Brothers in this game, man. Not that I really care. I mean, regardless, I think that 7 is too rich, man. And I mean, with the Scott Foster, he better it's gonna have to be somewhere they call some quick fouls on Jokic or some shit, like that. If it's everything clean, man, I think the boys sneak inside. If they lose by 6, it's cool with me. I mean, I'm like, hey, they going for the win, but I think the Nuggets coming crazy. I think maybe one of these couple games, game 1 or game 2, they might stun some people and win one of these games. They got the roster to do it. I know they obviously the Lakers gonna focus in on Murray and Jokic, but I mean the Nuggets are going to focus in on LeBron and AD. So it's pretty much both which team supporting cast is gonna, you know what I'm saying, get them over the hump. I actually think, like Junior said, the Nuggets maybe have a better. I ain't gonna say maybe. I think they got the better bit. I mean, Caruso has stepped up, and playoff Rondo has been playing a lot different. If you can get solid production out of Kuzma, Lakers have a solid bench. I can't say that. I mean, I would say even the benches are pretty even, even enough for me to say I like the 7 points. Like that, put it like that. You digging what I'm saying? And everybody counting out the Nuggets once again, man. Give me that 7, bro. I don't care. It ain't nothing large or nothing, but I like them, man. I don't care. I'm going with it. What's up, Junior? Any play? What you like on this game? What you think about the under?
It has to be under for me here. The Lakers have been one of the best defensive teams in the league. Everybody talking about they couldn't handle Portland's offense. They shut them down. Everybody said that, you know, the Houston Rockets 3-point shooting, blah, and I'm when I say everybody, I include myself, because I was saying that in series 1, I was saying that in the last series, so I'm not trying to act like I wasn't one of the people saying that too. But they held the Rockets to 101 points a game after game 1, so the Lakers defense has been locked in. That being said, I'm not 100% sure I all the way trust Denver's defense because it was so damn bad to start in the bubble. But in the last 2 weeks, Mike Malone has made some adjustments. I think the fact that it's do or die time, the effort has been better. And their defense overall, I mean, they held the Clippers to under 40 points in back-to-back second halves of elimination games. You can't ignore that. Now, we can say that the Clippers choked, but are we just not going to give Denver any credit for playing better defense? So I just think that because of the defense I've seen from Denver lately and the defense we've seen from the Lakers overall, I just think that this plays more towards the under, especially in a situation where Denver's coming with heavy legs, having played 14 games in the last 2 weeks. We'll see, though. But my lean, if you're asking me specifically about the total, my lean is towards the under.
Yeah, and you know what the bigger difference is this time, Jordan? This time my guy Teddy pointed out to me that the last time they only had 1 day in between. This time they had 2. Jordan might make a little bit of difference there, a little extra rest, you know what I'm saying, for him. And this one's gonna be all about 3-point shots, in my opinion. If the Lakers get hot from 3, if LeBron, because I think they're gonna pack the paint just like they did pretty much versus Kawhi, force to shoot those outside a little bit farther mid-range shots or outside shots. They're gonna force LeBron to shoot them threes. If he's making threes, if Caldwell Pope making Danny Green, you know what I'm saying, if they making them threes, then I mean I could see the Lakers winning by double digits. But if they not making them, or if they out of rhythm like they have been with rest, they could really lose this game 1. And we said then they'll piss the Lakers off, and then you come and smack them the next.
Yeah, if you like the Nuggets tonight, I think you have to think the under is correlated with that. Simply for exactly what Junior just had. The last 3 games of their last 3 wins, they've had the hottest defense in the NBA. So I mean, yeah, if the Nuggets defense is in fact #back, then yes, you got to take the points tonight. You got to like the under in this one, but as Junior very well stated, and as we've stated, I think countless times throughout this bubble process and throughout the playoffs, the Denver Nuggets defense has been very wish-washy. 3 straight games against the Clippers. Yeah, maybe the Clippers choke, but if the defense is back, you have to like the Nuggets tonight. But it remains to be seen, because I do think the Lakers present a lot of different challenges. I'm not going to say harder challenges, but a little bit different challenges than the Clippers did.
Got you. What? Any plays? Any plays that you like? Here.
Oh, one thing. Yeah, my bad. One thing I was going to say, if I did bet the under, I'm going to stick it to the first half because this is another one where there's derivatives is just way off from the full game total. You got a full game total of 210, but the first half is 108.5. So they're only expected about 100 points, 102 points to be scored in the second half of this one right now. So if you do think this is going to be a defensive style game, the Lakers maybe come out slow offensively early on. I think the first half under is where you need to look. I think if I do make a play tonight, it'll be on that one, but just a lean currently.
Got you. Yeah, I'm leaning the I like the under in this one, man. I like the under and I like the Nuggets, man. I think ever since Gary Harris been back, their defense has been night and day, and he makes it a whole lot better as well. That's why they can play with the lineup. That's why when you got Michael Porter Jr. going to the bench, out of that starting lineup, their defense gets, I'm talking about, a hell of a lot better, man. And it helps their bench scoring. So gonna be interesting to see that Michael Porter Jr. Kyle Kuzma matchup with them is gonna be a nice one, man. But Porter, he gonna have to get better on defense to do, because Kuzma gonna probably cook him up. So you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be interesting to see, man. If Dozier, players like PJ Dozier as well. I know one of them games he had 18 versus the Lakers. So we got guys like Plumlee coming out. Well, it'll be interesting to see a little bowl here. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna go and get out of here, man. I'm gonna put a little something on the Nuggets, man. It's gonna be a small play though, but small play. Gonna be interesting to see what happened in this game one. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Make sure y'all go to SBR Picks. Floor says NBA. Check out all the articles that we have over there. Whatever sport that you like to bet, we got free picks over there, man. So click the link in the description. Hit the like button if you like the content. We'll be back tomorrow, man. Appreciate y'all for jamming with J Money.